Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here, kicking off the October cohort for the Collab Lab. It's so fun to see so many people from all over the world. The first 4 people on the call today were on 4 different continents, which is just like, this blows my mind. It's so fun. So it's great to be here, and I'm just like, so I couldn't be more excited to welcome you to Collab Lab. We're gonna do a few things today. There's gonna be a lot of information, but we're recording it, so you can always refer back to it. So don't worry about that. You can always kind of go back, and if there was something that you really wanted to, like, you kind of missed the first time, or I know for some people English isn't their first language here, so it's going to be recorded. You can go back and listen again if you need to. But we're going to cover a bunch of information. We're going to do some introductions really quick. There's a lot of people on the call, so we'll just do names and locations. But I want everybody to kind of go around, and I'll just call on people, and you can just kind of shout out your name and where you are. We're going to talk.
Can you also say, if you know what number team you're on, can you also say the number team that you're on? That'd be cool.
Like I'm a mentor for TCL 15, so that kind of thing. So then we're going to cover sort of how the project is actually going to work. So what we're trying to accomplish, how we go about it, some of the mechanics of some of it, and like down to the level of how you name your branches and some of those kinds of things. Really, I mean, the whole, we're just trying to set you up to be successful with the project for the next 8 weeks. So we appreciate you being here, because you don't have to be here. We're all volunteers. We're all choosing to be in the together for the next 8 weeks, and it's a pretty unique experience. The last year plus that we've been doing this, people have really said some amazing things, like that it's life-changing for them and things. I don't know that it's life-changing for everybody. A few people it's been life-changing, but at the very least, we've had a lot of people say that it's given them more confidence in interviews and those kinds of things. So we really do feel like it's a pretty helpful thing. So one thing about it is it's not school. You're not in school. So don't, if you're nervous about, like, are people going to judge me or grade me or any of those kinds of things, that's not what we're here to do. We're a team. Well, we're four teams trying to get something done. And it's just like, it's like being on a team at work. You have a goal. We're working towards a goal. We're going to support each other along the way. Things are going to come up. It's, this is 2 months long. So life is going to happen during that time. We will jump in and support each other where we need to. So just kind of, I hope you can all kind of open yourself up to that mindset of that we're working together. We're just a group of people who are coming together to do something. There's no judgment or grading or anything like that involved. So why don't we'll do introductions. So I'm Andrew. I'm the founder of Collab Lab. I'm in Portland, Oregon. And I am, like I said, one of the mentors for TCL 15, the Europe Africa group. I'm just going to go left to right on my screen. So Beatrice, could you go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Beatrice, or B for short. I'm based in London, UK, and I'm in TCL 15.
Yes, you are. All right, Kahinde.
Hi everyone. My name is Kende. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm in TCL 15.
Yep. Great.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Ali.
Oh, hi. I'm a mentor for TCL 13, and I'm in I'm in California.
Yeah. Manuela.
Hi guys, my name is Manuela. I am 23 years old. I am from Colombia. I live in Medellin.
Yeah, great.
Well.
Hey. Hajar?
Hi, I'm Hajar from Egypt. I am in TCL 15.
Yeah. Phoebe?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. I am based in the UK, near kind of Reading, that kind of area. And I am a mentor for TCL 15.
Nice. Indira?
Hi, I'm Indira. I'm from Colombia, but I currently live in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be a mentor for TCL 13.
Great. Danny?
Hey, hi everyone, I'm Danny, I'm from Medellin, and I'm going to be a mentor for TCL 14.
Great. Stacie?
Hi, I'm Stacie. I'm going to be floating around TCL 13 and 14 for assistance, and I'm in California.
Yeah, great. Rachel?
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm going to be in TCL 13, and I'm in Durham, North Carolina.
Nice. Terry?
Hi, my name is Terry, and I'm from San Jose, California, and I'm part of TCL 12.
Nice. Audra?
Hi, I'm Audra. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I'm in TCL 13.
Awesome. Jill?
Hi, I'm Jill, and I'm in Portland, Oregon in the US, and I'm going to be a mentor for TCL 12.
Nice. Alejandro?
Hello, I'm Alejandro. I live in Medellin, Colombia, and I'm going to be a mentor for TCL 14.
Awesome. Deborah?
Hi, everyone. My name is Deborah. I am originally from Paraguay, but now I live in Norway. I'm in Oslo. I'm part of the TCL. TCL 15.
Yep. Nice. Miles? Janet? Miles, Janet?
Good morning. Sorry.
Hello. No worries.
It's early. My name is Miles. I am a mentor for TCL 12 and currently in Merced, California.
Nice. David?
Hi, my name is David. I'm based on Valencia in Spain, and I'm going to be a mentor for TCL 15.
Great. Liz?
Hello, my name is Liz. I live in Medellin, Colombia.
Well, you're in TCL 14, so that's the other part of it, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're great. You're good. That's good. Thanks. Luca.
Hi, I am Luca, and I will be assistant mentor for TCL 15, and I'm currently in country of Georgia.
Shane.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shane. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, currently residing in Blythewood, South Carolina, and I am in TCL 13.
Nice. Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Portland, Oregon, and I'm in TCL 13.
Nice. EJ?
Hi, everyone. I am in Southern California, and I'm a mentor for TCL 12.
Nice. And Andres? Is that right? Jefferson? Andres? That's better.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jefferson Andres. I'm from Medellin, Colombia, and I'm part of TCL 14.
Nice. Wow. This goes so great. It's great to hear English spoken in all the different accents. I love that. I love just that there are people all over the world who are doing this with us. It's amazing. Anything else before we kind of dive into the specifics, Stacie?
I don't think so. I think we're ready.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Could you share your screen, please?
I sure can.
Thanks. Thank you.
I can do it from here and then pull things up. I've done this before.
Is that true? The Medellin is the Silicon Valley of Colombia. Seems like it.
Really does seem like it. All right.
Great. So, okay. So the next 8 weeks, what are you going to be doing? I think a lot of people sign up for Collab Lab and don't really understand what they're going to do or how it works or anything. So we're going to explain all that this morning. The goal of the project is to build what's in quotes a smart shopping list. So what that means is that you're, just like a shopping list, any kind of shopping list, you're going to add items to the shopping list, and you're going to mark when you purchase the items. You can hit like a little button, mash a button when you buy it each time. And the app over time learns how often you buy it. So what the interval is between like each of the purchases, and over time, it adjusts the list so that the things that you're most likely to need to buy next are at the top of the list. So, so that's like the basics of the app. You're going to be working on a team of 4 developers with 3 mentors and a code of conduct responder. So about 4 to a 1-to-1 ratio there. And you're going to be just kind of working with them to build this over the next 8 weeks. So the project's based on an app that I built for myself early last year, I guess. It's hard to keep time in our heads these days, but it's you're poised to click on that. Did you want to show people that, or are you?
I would rather show them that in your repo, in every single one of your repos, there's a README, and the README includes a really good walkthrough on YouTube of the app with some good description in there.
Yeah. So this is the app that I built, but that's kind of neither here nor there. You can, like Stacie said, watch the walkthrough video. It's a good overview of sort of what you're working towards. So that's kind of the project itself. So this project brief is in your repo. So at this point, I think everybody has added themselves to their contributors file, which is the same repo. So in there's this project brief, which has all the information that you need for the project. So as an example, the locations for things. So all of your projects already have a production URL. So it's hosted on Netlify. It's already up and running. It's just a create React app at this point. There's nothing, we haven't done anything to it. It's just basically scaffolded, but it's at live URL. Every time there's a merge to the main branch, that will automatically deploy out to that production site. There's a link to the repo, kind of the clone URL. I think everybody's cloned the project at this point. There's also an issues list. So the issues list is what you're going to be working through. This has all the tasks that are needed to build the app broken down into 16 or 17 specific issues. Each one has sort of a description and some acceptance criteria. And each week, your group of 4 is going to be split into 2 pairs. And you are going to take one of these issues each week. And your task is to finish, kind of meet the acceptance criteria for whichever story is assigned to you for that week. So that's sort of some of the mechanics of the project itself. There's also a link here to the database. So we're using Firestore, which is a Google product. So Firebase is a suite of services that Google provides. Firestore, oops.
Either way, you get it.
Yeah. Anyway, you can get to the actual database and make edits directly to the database or see what the structure is, how that all works. But it's a really nice service. It gives you sort of real-time synchronization between your app and the database, kind of for free, I like to say. So all those links are there. You can always come back to those if you're like, how do I get to the project board or whatever? That's always going to be here in the project brief. Okay, so the project is expected to take 40 of your hours over the next 8 weeks. So if you do the math, that's just 5 hours per week. So we structure the project this way very intentionally so that it's not a huge burden to people. It's our whole thing is to try to break down barriers to getting into tech, right? So we want you to be able to do this alongside even a full-time job, or if you have other responsibilities. We didn't want it to be 10 or 20 hours a week and exclude a lot of people from participating. And what we found is that is enough time to really learn the things that we're trying to teach, which is the collaboration side, how software teams work together. And the technical stuff is sort of how we teach that, but it's the 5 hours a week is sort of what's expected of you. Like I said, each week your team of 4 will split up into 2 pairs of 2 developers each take a story and complete it for the week. So in your project brief, this is TCL 14, but each of the project briefs has all of the pairings for the entire project are already kind of set out. So week to week, who you're going to be working with, and we just rotate through. There's nothing kind of magic about that. But there is magic about pair programming. So this pair programming that you're going to be doing, Stacie loves the pair programming. It's just such a great way to learn. So pair programming is, so you'll find over the course of your career, you will find developers who are not in favor of pair programming. they're usually not, well, I'm not going to make any characterizations. Some people have different opinions about pair programming. We love it. We think it's a great way, especially for early career people to learn. If you think about, there's like kind of a, if you know what a Venn diagram is, right? Or they have the two overlapping circles. Especially when you're early in your career, there are things you know and there are things you don't know. And by pairing people up, like that circle of the things you know gets a little bit bigger. So that's one of the benefits. There's another benefit, which is that you are sort of forced to talk things through, right? Like you're working on an issue and you're having to explain, like, I'm trying to do this, but I don't, early in my career is a long time ago, so I don't really remember how this went, but I can imagine that if you have been working solo, you're trying to learn solo, or you're working even in a boot camp where you are being graded and you're responsible for your work, you might not be talking about this stuff very much. You might not be saying it out loud. So by pair programming, you're having to actually explain these concepts, and you're kind of queuing up, like you're kind of putting in cache all the language that you need to be able to talk about tech. And by explaining it to someone else, you kind of learn it better and all those things. So we think there's a ton of benefits from pair programming. There's no one right way to do it. There are different schools of thought, and there are different approaches depending on the relative levels of the people, and there's all those kinds of nuances to it. But what you'll do is you will just get in there and start doing it, and just kind of figure it out for a couple of weeks, and then we'll actually do a learning module on pair programming and talk through a little bit more about the some ways of doing it that might be helpful to you. So I think that's the end of my section, right, Stacie?
I think so.
All right, cool. But I'm so excited you're all here. So glad you're here, and I'm going to turn off my mic so I stop talking.
Awesome. Alejandro is going to talk to us about some other bits and pieces of the program.
Sure. All right. So as Sandro said, I'm really excited that this is happening. Like, this is unreal. Anyways, so weekly things, right? So every week we get together on a Zoom call that is 1 hour long, right? And that Zoom call will have 3 sections. So the first, like every Zoom call will start with demos. So demos are where you show like everybody what you did during that week, right? So you will share some code, you will share your screen, we'll see the feature that you created in production. So we'll check Netlify, maybe Firebase, Firestore, yeah, like whatever you did, we check that on production. For that, we'll have like maybe 15 minutes. That's the ideal. It could be less, more. But this is something really important because you will get used to talk about what you did. So whenever you get to an interview, that is what you have to do, right? It's like I have to tell my interviewer what I did, I don't know, how I learned. This is my project. This is blah, blah, blah. All right. So demos are really important. So make the most out of them. After that, it depends on the week. So if we are in odd number weeks, we have learning modules. So learning modules are presentations that us, the mentors, give about a certain topic. So for example, we could talk about code reviews, pair programming, developer communication, and I think accessibility is the other one. So yeah, we'll talk about that for 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes is total, but the mentors will talk about, I don't know, like 20 minutes, 15, and then we discuss about that topic. You can ask questions. We can basically talk about it. You learn really cool stuff for your career. And then after that, we have like a planning session, all right? So the planning session is 15 minutes. And that is, we're going to review the next 2 issues that we're going to work on the next week, right? And we read them together and you will ask questions. We, the mentors, clarify any question you have. And that's it. We assign the work for you and you're ready to go. That's for odd number weeks. And for even number weeks is the same. Like it starts with the demos, right? But the second activity is different. So we have our retrospective. So retrospectives are activities that hopefully most of the teams do, right? So it is a space where we talk about the last 2 weeks. So we say in the last 2 weeks, This was awesome, let's keep doing this, or this was not that good, let's try to fix it. We also share appreciations, which is like where you say to your team that you're thankful for, I don't know, having them, right? Something like that. Really positive vibes in that column of like appreciations. And well, that is the retrospective, and it ends as well like the odd number weeks with a planning session of 15 minutes, right? So that is the weekly sync. And now the weekly cadence. So, all right, we have 5 hours for our working week, right, in Collab Lab. So ideally, you should work from Monday through Wednesday on the issue that you have assigned, right? You have to like do pair programming, do some research, anything, basically like solve the issue, right? On Thursday, you will complete the issue and you ask for feedback. To whom? Like to the other team, right? So you say like, I'm done with this, you open a PR and you let the other team know like, hey, this is ready for you to review. The other team will review your code, your work, like maybe you can QA it, check that it does what it's supposed to do. And yeah, they leave you feedback. Maybe they say like, hey, you need to change this. I think that this could be done in another way. Anyways, like feedback, right? Then you address the feedback. And on Friday, you will tell the mentors like, hey, this is ready for you to review. So this is the second review of your work. So as the mentors will review your code, the same thing as the other team do, basically, as the other team did, sorry, basically. So we review, we leave you feedback, and you will address that feedback on Saturday. We approve the PR, we merge it, we deploy that to production, and on Sunday, when the weekly sync comes, you will demo your work. And yeah, that's about it. And one really important thing is that please work, like spend most of your energy from Monday through Wednesday, because some issues, they might seem easy, but they are not. I mean, yeah, like you can think like, yeah, I can do this in half an hour. No, like never like do that. So make sure that you spend all of your, well, not all, but most of your energy in the first 3 days of work, right? So yeah, I guess that's all I have. Thank you for listening.
Alejandro. Very good information. And on to Jill to tell us even more.
Thank you, Stacie. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk a bit more about like the development process and some more of the specifics of how we're actually going to make these features and stuff. So yeah, as Andrew showed you before in the project board, the project is organized into different user stories, which are kind of just like bite-sized chunks and features that are a bit more digestible than, you know, taking on the whole finished app at the same time. And there are a lot of user stories in that project board, and those user stories have like a short description of what it's supposed to do, as well as acceptance criteria, which are, it's like a bulleted list of just things that need to be done for the story to be done. And yeah, you can reference those as you need it, as you want on GitHub right there.
Sorry, slow getting it back. Okay.
And yeah, so throughout the course of the week, you'll be working to finish your story, and you know that the story is done once all the AC have been met, which is all of those bullet points. You'll also have the option to write tests to validate the happy path if you want. And the happy path is kind of just like the simplest way to meet the acceptance criteria. You're not looking at like edge cases or anything like that. And then in the case of UI features, we'll also be incorporating accessibility into the app so that anyone who wants to use it is able to use it. And we'll actually have, we'll have some like tech talks and things scheduled to talk more about accessibility. So really excited for that as well. And yeah, as Alejandro talked about, you'll be submitting your features for code review with the other developers, and there'll be that back and forth. So both of you, once both of you agree that it's good, then that's also good. And then the product owner, which in this case will be one of the mentors. Not all of the mentors have to approve it, just one of them really. But they'll also just take a look at it and give that final approval. And yeah, once all of that stuff is done, we'll be able to say that it's finished. And once all the backlog, which is all the stories, once all of those are done, we'll be able to say that the app is done, it does everything we want it to do, and we'll have a working app. It's awesome. So yeah, throughout the whole process, we really want to emphasize just how helpful it is to communicate, and document your work, especially. And it's really important because it's a really good way of just keeping track of, the decisions that you've made, your intention behind them. When you're working on something, you might think you'll remember everything, but it's a lot harder it's a lot easier just to have it all in one place. And so one of the ways that we do that is by having a conversation directly on the pull request. And I don't know if we've actually shown a pull request, but we'll go over that in a bit more. Yeah, there's a link there talking about what pull requests are, and then we'll go over that in a bit more detail once we're actually looking at things. But yeah, even like right when you first begin working, you can open up a draft pull request, and that just says that you're still working on it. You'll eventually open up a real pull request. But once you do that, there's a tab that allows you to leave comments, ask questions, things like that about the work, and have all of your conversation about the code directly with the code itself. And yeah, it's really good. It's good for mentors to be able to catch up on what you've done, things that you've tried, things that haven't worked. It can also be really good for your future self and for other people who might have to work on that same code. They can reference the previous pull requests and see like maybe why you chose a certain library, stuff like that. So just documentation, it's really, really important. So yeah, now the actual fun, the development process. So we'll be working off of the main branch in Git, and so you'll create a feature branch, and so that you can work on your work. And then, so the naming convention that we use is the initials of one person on the team hyphen the initials of the other person hyphen, and then a short brief description about what it is. So for example, if Stacie Taylor Sima and Alejandro Nanez are working together to connect the app to Firestore, they could call it STC-AN-connect to Firestore. And once that branch is pushed to GitHub, both of them can work independently on their own local machines and then just push code, and then it's really good for collaboration. So yeah, once you're able to start working on the feature, only one person of the pair is actually going to create the branch, but you'll create the branch, and then you'll immediately push it to GitHub so that your partner can pull it onto their local computer. And here are a couple commands that you can use to do that. So you can reference the project brief when you need it. You'll check it out and then you'll push it to GitHub. And it's the very first thing that you'll do. So yeah, you'll go back and forth throughout the week, beginning of the week, and work on your branch. Once both you and your partner feel that it's ready to go, like you want to have the other pair look at it, you'll create the pull request or convert the draft pull request into a real pull request. You'll ping Slack, you'll ping the other team and let them know that it's ready for them to review. They'll take a look at it. You'll incorporate their feedback. You'll go back and forth until both of you are happy. And then at that point, you'll ping your mentors in the team channel. And there's actually a Slack user group that you can just use to ping all the mentors. You don't need to use all their names, but that's specifics. You'll request that the mentors review your PR. Once they approve it, one of you will merge the PR into the main branch. And once it's merged, it'll actually be built and deployed automatically to Netlify, which is pretty cool. You can dig more into that if you're interested. And yeah, your work will be live in the production site, and that is a cause for celebration. You can show off your work to friends and family, or just be proud of yourself, celebrate. It's really exciting.
I love it. I'm already so proud of all of you. I'm like super excited about this. Thank you, Jill and Andrew and Alejandro, for all that information about how we're going to do this thing. Okay, the next piece is very, very important, Slack. Because of the nature of our work being distributed and we're all remote and we're across the entire world, most of our communication and coordination is going to be done through Slack. So if you're not super familiar with Slack, that's okay. Over the next 8 weeks, you're going to get very familiar with it. But there are 3 tips that I want to go over here with you today to keep in mind as you're navigating Slack and communicating with your team. The first is threads, threads, threads. Seriously, threads. They are like the lifeblood of keeping a tidy, organized workspace in Slack. And so they do 2 things really, really well. One is that they give you a nice encapsulated conversation so that you can return to it if you need to like search for conversations in the past. So instead of working like in your Slack and posting just a bunch of individual messages in the main channel, if you ask a question A, and then your team's in there talking about B, C, D, and finally somebody responds to A way down here, well, when you go back in the future to look for the response to question A, you're gonna have to dig through a bunch of noise to get to the answer. But if you instead put that response to question A in a thread, then when you go to search for it in the future, it's right there, nice and tidy for you to like easily get to what you need to get to. So stay organized with threads. Another helpful thing that it does is they help us all keep our notifications to a minimum so that people can follow and unfollow conversations that they need to be a part of. So not only is it the organized thing to do, it's also the polite thing to do. Speaking of notifications, number 2 here is that when you need someone in Slack, please tag them directly. In the same way that an office can get noisy, Slack can get noisy too, and people can miss things if they're not directly tagged. So tag people. As Jill mentioned, there are some user groups that you can lean on. One is that your team's participants will have a user group that's group TCL and then the number, and that'll tag all of your teammates. And then there's also one for your mentors on the team, group TCL, your number, mentors, to get all of your mentors' attention. So you might use this one when you're asking your peers for a review, and you might use this one when you're asking your mentors for a review of your PR. So use those, they're very helpful. And number 3 is use GIFs and emojis liberally. It can get kind of dry communicating just via written text. And this is like, Slack is how we're gonna build our team, how we're gonna build our relationships. So let people know how you're feeling, add some emotion in there, you know, stick an emoji in with that technical question you're asking. And an important note here is that you do have the option to disable animations of those GIFs and emojis if you have motion sensitivity. So you can really make Slack work well for you. What else? Okay, I am sure of it, that we have glossed over something or have missed something or something is just confusing to you. And that is totally okay because you're starting something brand new here. But the good news is you're surrounded by people who have been through this before, and we're all here in this together. So lean on your teammates, lean on your mentors, lean on the entire Collab Lab community at large, because we all want to see everybody succeed and have a really great time at Collab Lab. So please be loud in Slack if you have questions, and reach out if you need help or support in any way. And let's do this. So we've got a couple more things to go over. Hang in there, and then we're going to end up breaking out into our teams so that you get to meet people a little more intimately. So that was a lot. Phew, what is next? At a high level, and I'll dig into each one of these things, but what's next is we're going to review the week 1 issues just like you would in a normal weekly sync. You're going to meet with your own individual team, whether that's 12, 13, 14, or 15, and then you're going to schedule pairing sessions with your partner. So step 1, review the week 1 issues. Alejandro mentioned that we will be having a weekly sync with our team every Sunday. And at the end of those weekly syncs, every time, We'll be going over the next 2 issues that our team will be tackling in the following week so that we can all understand what work is going to be done. So generally, this will be done just with your team, and it'll be much more conversational, but I'm going to try and kind of give you the experience that you would normally get here today, because it's week 1, and we're going to kick it off by learning what issues we're going to do. So in all of your repos, you have a project board, and in that project board, you have your list of stories. Again, you can get directly to this page from inside your project brief. There's a link in the links to things section. So what we'll do in this section of the weekly sync is I will click on each of these, open the issue, read through it, and ask you if you have any questions to make sure everybody on the team understands the work that needs to be done. So let's do it. Issue number 1. Some of you and your partners will be tackling this issue next week. As a component, I want to be able to read from and write to the Firestore database so that users can persist information. The acceptance criteria for this are that the following have been added to the project as dependencies: Firebase and React Firestore. I also need to be able to make a change in the Firestore database and have it show up in the app. So if you actually go to the Firestore database from your browser, you should be able to make a change to the data and have that reflected on your actual app. The other acceptance criteria is that I need to be able to make a change in the app and have it show up in the Firestore database. So one thing that I want to call out about this one is that you want to try and stick as closely to the acceptance criteria as possible, because we've really broken these stories down into a way that if you meet the acceptance criteria and only meet them, the rest of the app will really fall into place in coming weeks. So you might feel inclined to get this issue and like go create a whole form because you know you're creating a shopping list app, but then you look back and you're like, we just built the whole app on accident, when all you needed to do was something very, very simple to make a change in the app and have it show up in the database, make a change in the database, have it show up in the app, just to prove that this is working. So can anyone think of just something really, really super duper simple that you could put on the app to make changes in the database? Anybody can jump in here. In our group setting, this would be much more conversational, but does anybody have an idea, something you've done in a tutorial or anything? Just shout it out. Former app.
I would say just create, just to add something to create an item.
Yeah, you could do that. Any other ideas?
If we'll use that to input.
Go ahead. Good. Okay. So what I might recommend is something like really super duper simple, like maybe, I know a lot of tutorials will do like a button counter where you click a button and it like increases a number, stores the number, and then prints that number onto the screen. And then you can make changes that way. Something really simple. Or you'd mentioned an item or something like one single input, where you can input one single piece of information and have it print. But even just the simplest little tiny thing can happen here. So these GitHub issues are incredible because they're going to live on forever. So how Jill was saying, it's really great to keep documentation and information in your PR. This is also an incredible place to keep documentation that can kind of be paired with your PR, and they can like live together because every PR will coordinate with one of these stories. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a note here, and your mentors might do this during your weekly syncs, but this section is also for you to leave notes and coordinate with your partner and with your group, and future you who comes back to be like, oh, I've put Firestore into an app before, I need to do that again, and I left myself really good notes on how to do that here. So reminder, keep this simple, perhaps just a counter button or something, question mark, smiley face. Well, I guess I should use like a real smile. Aww, cute. Okay, that's the first issue. Does anybody have any questions about this issue? Is it clear? Does it make sense? Thumbs up. Okay, if you do have questions, we're gonna go into breakout rooms after this with your team, so you can totally ask them there. Again, in a normal weekly sync, it would just be a small group here, but that's what issue 1 is. Issue number 2 those of you who aren't doing issue number 1 will be doing issue number 2, is as a user, I want to be able to navigate between the list view and the add an item view so that the interface is clearly delineated between viewing and adding. The acceptance criteria for this one are that React Router DOM has been added as a project dependency. The second thing is links are present and persistent at the bottom of the app, one for the list view and the other for the add item view. When one of the links is clicked, the browser URL up here should update and match the component that's being displayed. And whichever view is selected, the corresponding link at the bottom should be bolded. So any thoughts on this one? Another thing that I want to call out on this one is that if you look at hopefully you've read through all of the issues, but if you haven't already, do go read through all of them so you know what's coming next. But in the final few issues, you're going to be doing a bunch of styling and working collaboratively to make the app really beautiful. So in these earlier tickets, keep styling to a bare minimum and you'll save yourself a lot of headache going forward. So you might build something and be like, oh, this does not look pretty, but that's okay. Because in the last few issues, you will be making it look beautiful. So has anybody used React Router before in an app? Have any thoughts on like React Router at large, how you feel about it?
Yes, I have. I've used it before.
Did it go pretty well?
Yeah, it did. It's very useful tool.
Good. I love their documentation. It's like one of my favorite pieces of documentation. Any questions on this one at all? Okay, again, if you have questions, we're gonna go out and go into breakout rooms, but also we are always, always, always here for you in Slack. You have a whole team of mentors and Collab Lab alum that can help you through these things. So you are not alone. You are not working on this solo. It is a collaborative effort. So please be loud and noisy in Slack if you do have questions about any of these issues. So when we go into our breakout rooms, you'll talk more about who's taking what issues. Your mentors will just assign them randomly. And your pairs are always in your project brief, again, if you want to be able to run through and see who you're pairing with. But that'll also be posted in Slack. You'll always know who you're pairing with. If you need to go back and have a refresher, it's here for you. Okay, let's see. All right, that's what that last portion of your weekly sync every week will look like. We'll just talk about the issues and make sure they get assigned and everybody will know who's doing what. The next thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna meet with our own individual teams. So as soon as we hang up this call, somebody from your team will post a Zoom link in your team's channel. Pop into that Zoom link, introduce yourself, get to know your team a little bit better, ask any questions that you have about stuff that didn't quite make sense here. Your mentors will make sure you know who you're pairing with for the week. And they should also make sure that you can get a feature branch set up locally, push that up to the GitHub repo so that your partner can pull it down. There's a chance your partner might not be on the call today and might not really get started till tomorrow. But that's okay. If you can go ahead and get the branch created and get that out of the way, then you'll be like one step closer to pairing and collaborating, which is great. So we'll hang up here, you'll get on that call and wrap things up. And then after that, the very next thing that you'll do is you'll schedule pairing sessions with your partner for the week because again, Alejandro mentioned that you'll be working 5 hours in the week. And we highly, highly, highly recommend you spend at least 2 to 3 of those hours pairing with your partner. The other few hours can be you doing code review. We've had teams that prefer to just fully pair through everything, which is also fantastic, but it's really the bread and butter of Collab Lab and what builds solid teams. So try and spend as much time pairing as you can. So that will be what you'll do. So let me stop my screen share so that I can see all your faces. Does anybody have any last thoughts from the whole group before we jump into being with our teams?
How are you feeling about it? Are you excited, nervous? Hajar, you said you were a little nervous beforehand, but are you feeling better?
It's a lot. It's a lot of
It is a lot.
So we fully get that, but do know that you're supported. Do know that everybody here wants you to succeed, and you should be fully transparent. Work in the open in Slack. So instead of direct messaging people, try to just use your team channel, use threads in your team channel. That way, all of your mentors, everybody on your team can know where you're at. We can see when you need help. It also gets you a quicker response if you work out in the open, because if I'm direct messaging Alejandro asking him questions, Danny and Tito have no idea that I'm asking questions. But if I'm working out in the open and I have a question and Alejandro's got to go do something, well, then I have a whole team of people still to help me. So try to be as transparent as possible and work out in the open. That was a lot. I hope you all are hanging in there, but we're here for you. So I'm going to close down this call. It was an absolute pleasure to see you all this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. And do go into your channels just after this and join the next Zoom link where we'll wrap things up for our kickoff call, and then we'll hit the ground running. Good?
Awesome. Yep. TCL 15 can hang back in this room, and we'll use this. We'll just keep going. We're all here, so.
Perfect. 12, 13,
thank
14.
you, everybody. Yep. Go check your team channels for Zoom links. Thank you.
Bye, group.
Have fun.